Dog's deed is done.
What can I say? They were the best. They really stood out. They put it all together when it counts, and that's what the sport's all about.
What a routine.
And that just may do it for Georgia here tonight.
Wow.
The Jim Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia.
Here it is. This is Georgia Gymnastics' 10th National Championship trophy, 5 in a row. Hi, I'm Suzanne Yocklin with the Jim Dog Show, and with me today is Associate Head Coach Jay Clark. And we are just flabbergasted right now as we present to you our 10th trophy. As I said earlier, 5 in a row. It's an incredible accomplishment. No team ever in the history of collegiate gymnastics has won 10 NCAA titles.
5 in a row of anything is amazing, and you've heard me say this several times. If I were to play you in tic-tac-toe 5 times, I don't know if I could win 5 in a row. But to win 5 in a row at the NCAA level, Division I level in any sport, you know, the only thing you can compare it to is John Wooden and UCLA back in the day when Coach Wooden was winning those basketball championships. And what an amazing run it's been, and we've done it in so many different ways. Each one has been very different, and just an incredible experience to see this team do what they did, this senior class to do what they did, and most of all, to see what Courtney Kupets was able to do over the entirety of the weekend.
And as Jay said, this senior class, unbelievable. 4 seniors, Courtney Kupets, Tiffany Tolnay, Abby Stack, and Paige Burns. They go out as the senior class with the best career overall record ever in the history of the gymnastics program here, with only 5 losses in their entire career. Just an unbelievable 5 losses in 4 years. That's absolutely amazing. They've won a national championship every single year. And what can you say about these 4 seniors?
Well, they're just amazing. As you mentioned, 5 losses. Their entire record, 130, 5-1. Just an incredible win-loss record, better than that of the previous senior class that had come in, who only had 9 losses and was amazing in and of itself. But this class just exhibited such resiliency. You know, they had to learn to become leaders, because for the entirety of their career, they had Katie Heenan and Nikki Childs in that class ahead of them that had provided the leadership. And so this year was a growth period for them in so many ways, and we had so many ups and downs, but yet they kept winning all the way through. And to see them really put it all together here at this national championship and really bond, and you could see it particularly with Courtney and Tiffany as they went out on the floor, realizing that they needed each other to get this done. And just what an amazing testament it was to the cohesiveness of this team.
And we knew going into this championship that we needed to have Tiffany and Courtney as the dynamic duo leading the team all the way through, and that's exactly the way it worked out. They were just phenomenal, both on Thursday, the preliminary round, where Courtney won the all-around with an tied the NCAA record of a 39.8 on the first day of competition. And in the early session, Tiffany Tolnay was second in the all-around. So Georgia's 1-2 punch in the all-around on the first day of competition really set our team up to continue on the second day and win the national title. You know, that confidence from the first day goes a long way, and we know that here at Georgia. In almost every single one of our championship years, we've won the first day of competition, and it really sets you up.
Right, and being in the afternoon session, winning the first day of competition is not always the easiest thing to do, because as the day goes along and the judges begin to get tired, sometimes scores can begin to loosen up. But doing what Courtney and Tiffany did, and the entire team, we certainly don't want to take anything away from the entire team, but it does bear mentioning just the enormity of having them both on the same page, both being successful over the course of 4 events at the same time. Had not really happened this year up until this point.
Georgia, as you know, obviously because we're the national champions, advanced to the Super 6, but also in the afternoon round, advancing to the Super 6, were also SEC schools, LSU and Florida. So it was, you know, all 3 schools from the SEC advancing, but we never really felt the pressure from those other 2 schools.
No, and neither one of those schools had a fantastic meet, so we never really got that competitive edge thing going in that first day. But an SEC sweep in the first session, and the crowds were chanting SEC, and it was nice to have the SEC do as well as they did in that first session, as well as in the second session that night, with Arkansas being sort of the Cinderella story of the entire meet, them getting to their first Super 6 with a program that's only 7 years old. It was just a great accomplishment for Mark and Renee Cote. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at what it took to get to Friday's competition and how we prepared for that going into Friday evening.
The Jim Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. by GeorgiaDogs.com. GeorgiaDogs.com, the official website of the Georgia Bulldogs. By Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal health care organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By Alpha Factor. Alpha Factor, the official gymnastics apparel worn by the Gym Dogs. By the Georgia Club. The Georgia Club, a community of neighborhoods in Bulldog Country. By Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes, the official Honda of the Georgia Gym Dogs. And brought to you by John Bull's stores in the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean.
Ask Suzanne, brought to you by GeorgiaDogs.com. And the question is, and I've been asked it so many times, what are your plans now that you're headed into retirement? And the answer is, sitting in the stands with all of the rest of you cheering on the Gym Dogs. I'm definitely going to be one of the most avid fans ever. Hope to do some professional motivational speaking. As a matter of fact, you can look it up right now on SuzanneYacklin.com. And that's Ask Suzanne, brought to you by GeorgiaDogs.com.
Welcome back. Well, Suzanne, one of the many questions we always get is what are the kinds of things we do to prepare our team for these kinds of competitions behind the scenes and in team meetings? And on Thursday, we had let the girls sort of dictate what that message was, and they came up with some artwork and some things on poster board that they partnered up and sent messages to the team and what they felt like Thursday's competition was going to be all about and the things that they wanted to see us do.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about different things all throughout the season, and we've had some great analogies and cliches throughout the year, and just so many tangible things that we've used, from boats to rocks to ships to geese. And so, you know, Jay and Doug and Julie and I just thought, you know, let the girls handle it. They're very diverse, and they all seem to need different things. So let's see if they can find what the pulse of this team is all about. And they all got together and came up with some really entertaining just setups and messages for each other before the Thursday competition. Obviously, it came out great because we had an unbelievable Thursday night, but we saved a lot for Friday. And so before the Friday competition, we got the girls together, and Tiffany stood up and talked about an anchor.
Y'all remember at the beginning of the season I gave you little sailboats?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now we have little anchors.
Oh!
Anchor down today. Okay? But pass it around and I tell you.
They go in your gym bags or whatever you want.
Yeah, you can put them on your gym bag. I kind of tied them a little loose so you can put them on your gym bag.
Okay.
Champions have it deep inside of them. A dream, a desire, a vision. They have the last minute stamina. They have to be a little faster. They have to have the will and the skill. But the will must be greater than the skill. I'll say that again. The will must be greater than the skill. Take hold of your will, adhere to your will, anchor your championship.
In addition, a couple days prior to the competition, we talked about zero regrets. We actually asked the girls to fast forward to Sunday afternoon to Monday morning and write down whatever they thought could be a regret. That when the championships are over, you know, what kinds of things would they regret? Maybe that they don't go all out, or that they didn't have fun. And we made a list, put it on poster board, and put it up in the locker room on Thursday and Friday. And we kept reminding them, zero regrets, let's go all out. So on Friday's competition, we set the whole thing up with talking about the magic of the team and the harmony of the team, the cohesiveness, and how important that is, and how we've realized over the last 26 years of coaching that teams that are really cohesive are the ones that reach their full potential. And I can attest to the fact, and I will swear till my dying day, that championship teams have this sense of harmony. Somewhere, somehow, they find it. You know, sometimes through force, like with the 93 team. But they find out force, but they're like, we're going to get this done, and we're going to all get this done together. And it's one voice, and it's the kind of unity and harmony that you feel. And it's glorious, and we've had it. And we've had it all season, and it's come along slowly. And it's like a process, just like a family, and building a family is a process. It takes time, and it comes from adversity, and it comes from hardships, and it comes from living in the dorm together, and it comes from fighting, and it comes from making up. And it comes from arguments, and it comes from being able to rely on each other, and being committed to one another, and coming through for each other, and not just you, but everyone around you. People that flew here and drove here. It's that harmony that comes from within. And we're going to call this harmony from within today our dance. And we spent a lot of time talking about that. Actually watched a movie that sort whole theme together for the team and headed out of the hotel to the arena, psyched up, ready to go, zero regrets, dance on, magic within our team, and got over to the arena, and we're very excited to start out the competition on the uneven bars.
Hi, my name is Kaylin. Lauren, what is your hardest skill?
Thanks, Kaylin, for asking your question. My hardest skill, believe it or not, is cast handstands on bars and getting them all the way up every time.
The Georgia Club favorite, brought to you by the Georgia Club, and this week, unanimously, it's Courtney Kupets, who goes down in history as the all-time greatest NCAA women's gymnastics competitor with 9 national individual titles, which, by the way, she earned in 3 years compared to 4 because of her torn Achilles last year. And that is the Georgia Club favorite, brought to you by the Georgia Club. Welcome back. Well, here we are in the Devaney Center for the Super 6 competition, where Georgia is going to be defending their 4-time national championship title, going for 10 in a row. And we're starting on the uneven bars, and our fans are right there by the bars. What a perfect place for them to be.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great way to start. I guess the team was a little tighter than we had anticipated because, as it turns out, Marcia Newby, who's probably been the most consistent person we've had all year, she's been in that leadoff spot all year long, has trouble for the first time, and we had a lot of discussion on lineup, whether to put Courtney McCool in or leave Marcia in that spot. And while she did a great job on the first day, the second day she had a lot of trouble, so it put the freshman in a little bit of a situation where Kat Ding had to kind of right the ship, and she did a great job doing that. She and Gina both did a good job on both days on the uneven bars for us, and then we capped that off with Courtney getting a 10, and we still come out of there, even with the fall on the first routine, with a 49.425.
Absolutely. We said Courtney's 10 gave us the momentum, and it was just the sigh of relief. We got through the bar set with 5 hits, and that's all you need, and we were feeling good and heading over to balance beam. And in the back of everyone's mind, it's like, okay, this is our event. We own this event. We got 49.55 the day before. We've gotten 49.5 at the regional competition 2 weeks ago. It's an event that we are the best in the country on, and it was a nerve-wracking event for us. Balance beam just did not go at all the way that we thought we would, but thank goodness Hillary Morrow fought to stay on. I mean, she could have fallen off on that front tuck on beam, but she fought to stay on. As it turns out, that becomes a critical routine for us. Same with Grace Taylor, bobble, 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 little shake, little teeny mistakes, but for her, she was definitely off, and it was just, everyone was just clenching their hands together. Tiffany Toney had a great routine. Hop on the dismount, and then Courtney Kupets, of course, was her solid self. And then last up on beam, the anchor McCool, we needed a hit from her because Cassie McComb got a 9-4 earlier in the rotation. We didn't want to count that low score, so it was all coming down to Courtney McCool, and she put up a good score of 9-9 for us. Like, it could have been a disaster, but as it turned out, 49-4, it kept us in the running. It didn't put the pressure on Alabama and Utah like we had hoped. We were hoping that we would be ahead at the midway point, and as it turns out, we were not ahead at the midway point, but we weren't so far back that it was out of reach. So we went into that locker room, and we knew we needed a momentum swing, and we needed it right.
That's right. We go into the locker room, and everybody knows that what we've done is not good enough. It's just not going to get it done, and they need to loosen up, and they need to compete as we talked about. Compete without fear of losing. Compete loose. No regrets. We kept driving that point home.
Anyway, the good news is the fight was great. We don't count a fall. We're actually a 10th higher than the midway point yesterday. But we don't have that 49.55 on beam that we had yesterday, so we just got to get that 49.55.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
We got it.
SEC floor.
SEC floor.
Girls.
That was...
you guys, just have confidence in yourself. Why? Don't doubt yourselves. It's like finish position, technique, cues. Don't rush things. Take off the same way. You know how to take off on floor. You know how to put your feet down and land. Do it. Don't take anything else but the best you can do. Don't accept anything else.
The more you go for it, the more you go all out, you do it like normal. You hold back, you end up doing it differently.
And compensate.
So breathe and do it normally. And if you have to go a little bit more because you're afraid to hold back, then do it. Because you got it, girls. It's fun.
We do what we do.
And the thing about floor exercises, if you go hard, as long as you set your direction straight up, it's going to be good. You can't go hard and then wing it back. No. All right, so you got to set your direction. If you set your direction and get your arms up, your landings will be there. Go out there and dominate floor. There has not been a team yet that has done a good set on floor. All right, fight for every single 10th, you guys. Just keep fighting, but make it a little easier on yourself, okay?
All right. We got that.
Crank it up. Crank it up.
Crank.
And boy, did they come out on floor. And Abby Stack was a big key, even in the tunnel and in the locker room, for getting everybody back on the right page. And she led us off on floor with undoubtedly the best routine that I've ever seen her do while she was here at Georgia, starting us off with a 9-9. And when a team starts off with a 9-9 on an event, it's a tough thing to do to stop that boulder from rolling downhill.
That's exactly what happened, and Jay's absolutely right. I mean, Abby said, let's have fun, you guys. That's what we're here to do, and we haven't been having fun, so let's get back on track and have fun. And she led the way, and I totally agree. It was her best routine ever, and she is the gymnast. That is the routine that turned the momentum and swung it back in our direction, and we just built from there with Hillary Morrow getting a 9-9, Cassie McComb a 9-9, Grace Taylor a 9-9, and by the way, Grace Taylor was competing on a sprained ankle from the day before, so she really gutted that out. You saw the sprained ankle affect her on balance beam, but on floor exercise, there is no way. And then Tiffany Tolnay comes back with a 9.925, and then Courtney Kupets, what can I say, another big score from her of 9.95. So it was just an unbelievable floor exercise rotation, and the best thing about it is we didn't have a bye afterwards. We could just keep on competing, and so that momentum we could just take right over to the vaulting event and just keep it going, just keep building. And that's exactly what we did. Sessler started us out with a 9.825, and from there it just went up and up and up, and then right in the middle of the rotation, Kat Ding. I mean, a 9.95 on vaulting from a freshman, Kat Ding. We just went crazy. We could not believe it. We knew it was our night. No one was going to take it away from us from that point.
Absolutely. And even after as great as floor was, you know, Utah had gone 49.525 on vault, so it was going to take something fantastic on vault to really salt this one away. A 49.4 wasn't going to get it done, or we didn't think it would at that point in time. And so we knew that we had to have something special. Something around a 49.6 is what we thought we were going to have, and we hadn't done that all year. And so there was really no evidence for us to go over there and expect that. But boy, did these kids turn it on when they needed to, and just darted vault after vault after vault. And it came down to that last vault, as we had said, and you had said prior to the meet starting, it's not going to be over until Tiffany Tolnay lands her vault. And just before she went, she turned around. I looked at her and I said, Tito, one time. She turned around with this kind of steely look on her face, like a cold-blooded killer, and nodded her head, and that's when you kind of knew Tiffany was on board all the way through this meet, and boy, did she do a great vault.
Oh, my God, what a vault. Probably the best vault of her career. Personally, I thought it could be another 10. We could have had back-to-back 10s, but it was unbelievable. We were so excited. And, you know, the best part about it all is we didn't know if we won or not. We weren't sure. The girls didn't know if Utah or Alabama could touch us, but we were so proud of what we did. We walked back into that corral, and they said zero regrets. They left it out on the floor. They competed their hearts out. And as coaches, that's what you want, you know. And if we had come up short and Alabama or Utah had beaten us, it would have been okay, because our team knows that we finished strong, we finished the drill, and we competed like champions in the second half of that competition, and that's what it's all about. That competition is all about the fight and the heart, and our team had it as much this year as I have ever seen in 26 years. It was just absolutely unbelievable. Routine of the Week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center, and this week's routines are Tiffany Tolnay and Courtney Kupets as the dynamic duo who competed 4 back-to-back days as all-arounders and helped lead our team to our 10th national title. Courtney Kupets, now a 9-time national champion and 15-time All-American. Tiffany Tolnay, a 16-time All-American. They are our Routine of the Week, brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center.
Countdown to the NCAAs brought to you by Melwood Springs. And not only did Georgia wrap up its 10th team title, but we had 5 individuals make All-American, with Courtney Kupets, Tiffany Tolnay, Courtney McCool, Grace Taylor, and Kat Ding, all making first-team All-American. That's Countdown to the NCAAs, brought to you by Melwood Springs.
Welcome back. Well, as you can see, it was just an incredible competition. The drama was something that I have not experienced in a national championship in a long time. The fans the same way. I mean, there was so much drama and excitement. We are so proud of our team for their fight and the way they just changed the momentum and never quit. And that has been a common theme for 5 years. The last 5 years, all 5 championships in a row. Our team fought and fought and fought because they have such love and passion and compassion for one another. It really brings their competitive level to a higher level and brings home the national championship. And to all of you out there and all of our fans, because this championship is as much for you as it is for all of us. It's the support that we receive week after week that really motivates us to push ourselves to compete at the highest level possible. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for this year, who are Melwood Springs, Athens Regional Medical Center, Phil Hughes Honda, the Georgia Club, Arrowhead Clinics, GeorgiaDogs.com, and Alpha Factor. And in closing, I'd like to introduce to you officially our new head coach for the 2010 season, my associate head coach for years, Jay Clark. I am so excited, and I've told people over and over and over again, there is no way I could retire and step back from this program if I did not have confidence in Jay.
Well, thank you, Suzanne, and it sure is a daunting task to fill the shoes of the woman sitting here next to me. What a career, people. I mean, 16 SEC championships, 21 NCAA regional titles, 10 NCAA titles. Suzanne, congratulations on an unparalleled career. Thank you for making gymnastics relevant here at the University of Georgia. Thank you for making gymnastics relevant all over the country and changing the landscape of college gymnastics forever. And we'll see you next year with hopefully another star-studded season as we go forward with the University of Georgia Gymnastics.
The Gym Dog Show has been brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By GeorgiaDogs.com. GeorgiaDogs.com, the official website of the Georgia Bulldogs. By Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal health care organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By Alpha Factor. Alpha Factor, the official gymnastics apparel worn by the Gym Dogs. By the Georgia Club. The Georgia Club, a community of neighborhoods in Bulldog Country. By Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes, the official Honda of the Georgia Gym Dogs. And brought to you by John Bull's stores in the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean.